My name is Cheems. This is my 4005th loop. In the past, I thought I was trapped in an eternal loop all by myself, unable to escape. But now, it seems that things have started to change.
Please believe me. I'm caught in a time loop.
Miss, your steak.
Oh, thank you. Is this really okay? Coming to such an upscale restaurant. It must be expensive, right?
You haven't gotten used to your looper status yet. For us, the concept of money doesn't exist anymore. After all, we can just make clone calls and use credit cards to get whatever we want.
Seems like it is.
There's no need to whisper so low. No one will pay us any mind, and even if they do, it doesn't matter because they'll forget everything by the next day. So you might as well be a bit bolder.
Oh, I'm just a bit overwhelmed. Cheems. Are you really caught in a loop too?
You said you're caught in a loop. What does that mean?
The story begins 5 days ago. Or rather, 5 loops ago. That morning, after waking up, I went for a walk by the seaside and felt hungry halfway through. So I randomly picked a restaurant to order some snacks. Just as I finished ordering and sat for a while.
Everyone stay where you are.
Suddenly, that man pulled out a gun and pointed it at us, ordering us all to sit in a row without moving. The owner, another customer, and I were all terrified, but for some reason, the little girl calmly followed his instructions. The man blindfolded us, so I couldn't see what was happening outside. But I heard sirens and a lot of voices, so the police must have arrived. They argued for a while, and the gist was that he was originally a human trafficker, but now he had changed his mind and instead of selling people, he wanted the girl's father to bring him money and for the police to prepare a getaway vehicle. After a while, the father must have arrived. But, soon after, I heard a gunshot, followed by more gunfire. Then many police rushed in here.
Are you okay?
Just as I thought we were saved. A bomb suddenly exploded. When I came to again, I found myself in my bed at home. At first, I thought it was just a dream, but everything that just happened was too real. So that morning, I couldn't help but go to the restaurant to take a look. And found that they were all sitting there. Although I haven't figured out what's going on yet, I immediately realized that what happened before couldn't possibly be a dream. So I left there right away and was about to call the police. Hello, I'm at the restaurant on Seaside Road. There's a human trafficker preparing to. For some reason, that man suddenly appeared behind me and then tied me up inside again. It was the same as the previous loop. The third time, I finally realized that I must have been caught in a time loop. So this time, after I made sure from a distance that they were inside the restaurant, I left there directly and called the police from afar. I told the police about the human trafficker's characteristics and the information about the bomb and the rest. After that, I went straight back home without any accidents. However, the explosion still happened. I saw on the news that day that a total of 16 people, including the police, were killed in the explosion. I spent the rest of the time with a heavy heart. But after midnight, I suddenly found myself teleported to the bed. Now I finally realized that if I don't resolve this crisis, I'm afraid I will keep looping. In the following loops, I tried to bring weapons and take the opportunity to ambush him. But his reaction was very fast, and I was no match for him at all. Later, I pretended to chat to see if I could get some information out of him. He was surprisingly talkative at first, and I couldn't tell that he was a ruthless criminal. But for some reason, in a certain moment, he suddenly seemed to change and tied us all up again, repeating the previous plot. I've tried to warn loudly about the bomb in the restaurant during the time between his death and the police just coming in, but the timing is always a bit off. I've also tried to quietly tell the owner and another customer to leave first, but he is very alert, and it still failed in the end. Then it came to this time. Because I couldn't think of any good method for a while, I decided to observe from a distance. And then I met you.
That's it, I probably understand.
So do you believe what I'm saying? I know my words might sound a bit fantastical, but you're the only variable in these loops, and I don't know why you're in the loop, but if we join forces, we can definitely solve this crisis. And as long as we resolve this crisis, we should be able to escape the loop. As long as you're willing to help me.
I believe you, Lucy.
Really?
However, I think solving this crisis has nothing to do with escaping loop.
Why?
The time is 9:57. There's still time.
Wait, he has a gun. It's very dangerous. If you want to do something, you can tell me in advance, and I can cooperate with you.
Thank you for thinking of me, but it's really okay. Because he doesn't yet know he has a gun on him.
What?
Sorry, could you do me another favor? I've finished talking with her.
What's the matter again? Do I have to come down?
Yes, it's easier to talk down here.
So, what's this all about?
Lucy. Watch closely. First, kick his lower limbs. His
Wait,
gun is on the right.
what are you
Don't
doing?
grab the wrong one. Once you have the gun,
Let's talk this through calmly.
make sure not to go easy on him. Boss, after we leave, you can call the police. Remember to tell them there's a bomb in the store.
Where is this?
Let's go.
What? What exactly is going on?
We'll talk about it later. Lucy, the police will arrive at the scene in 3 minutes and 24 seconds after we leave here. So before that, we need to take care of the nearby cameras first. Then in this place, there will also be a homeless man who has seen everything. You didn't see anything, understand?
I didn't see anything.
Remember to give him just 1,000. If we give him too much, he might spend it extravagantly, which could lead the police to suspect him, and then they might track us down between 9 and 10 p.m. Taking care of these two will basically ensure our safety, but avoid wandering around here today, or we might be recognized by the boss. So, if you think the way to escape the loop is by resolving this crisis, then this should be the standard answer.
How? How did I know all this?
Because I'm just like you. Also looping.
Cheems. Are you really caught in a loop too?
This is already the 5th time you've asked me this question today. I think there's no need to ask again.
Sorry, I just feel it's unbelievable that there are people trapped in the same cycle as me.
The one who should be incredulous is me. To be honest, when I first saw you, my mind was about to overload.
That's quite an apology. So, what's the deal with this incident? Why did the human trafficker not act like he did later when he was confronting you? And what about the little girl's chip, the final explosion? What's going on with all that?
This incident is complicated, involving many people and many things. It took me more than a dozen loops to figure out the ins and outs. If I get the chance, I'll tell you later.
Later? When?
If we can meet again in the next loop.
Am I going to be stuck in this loop forever?
I'm not sure. I know very little about the loop. Why it happens, the cause, the way to get out, I have no idea. However, based on my experience, solving any so-called crisis has nothing to do with escaping loop. Because I have solved this crisis at least 30 times, but I am still in loop.
Is that so?
But you're not me. Maybe your way out of the loop really is to resolve this crisis. Don't be so sad.
You just said 30 times. How many times have you looped in total?
4,005 times.
That's so many! That must be 11 years, right?
It doesn't feel that long. After all, There have been many loops where I died prematurely, so if we're talking in terms of perceived time, it's more like 7 to 8 years.
That must be very painful. At least I can't imagine what I would be like if I looped more than 4,000 times. I think I would go crazy.
Well, not necessarily. Humans are more adaptable than you might think. I'm actually quite happy every day now.
Really?
Really. It's just, sometimes I feel a bit lonely. After all, everyone's memories disappear after each loop, which means that traces left, words spoken, friends made, all of it vanishes.
Is that so?
Let's not talk about that anymore. Hurry up and eat. Your steak is going to get cold.
Oh, I forgot all about it.
Then, let's part ways here.
Aren't we staying together until midnight?
I've said what needs to be said, and there's no point in staying any longer. The key now is whether you'll keep looping. If you're still looping tomorrow, go to the place I mentioned at 1 a.m.
Why not go at midnight? There's no need to wait until 1 a.m., right?
It rains at midnight where I am, and I don't have an umbrella at home, so I don't want to get caught in the rain.
I see, got it.
Then, I wish you a successful escape from loop. I'm leaving now.
Forget it.
There are still more than 40 minutes left. Let's do a brief recap. First of all, what she said should be credible, the basic details all match up. However, in the previous loops, I was at home playing games and didn't pay attention to the news, so I'm not sure if we were in the same loop before. But why on earth would I encounter a looper? It doesn't seem to make any sense. If I had done something special or triggered something, that would be one thing, but playing games at home for a few days and then running into a looper when I go out is just too strange. Could it be that there are actually many loopers? It's just that we haven't met each other before? Well, I still know too little about the loop. But now that the two of us have established contact, if we conduct some experiments, we might be able to uncover the secrets of the loop. No, even if we uncover it, I don't want to leave loop. Why break it? But I haven't talked to someone like this in a long time. Will we meet again in the next loop? But it seems she still can't stand loop. It's better not to stay in loop. But why is my heart beating so fast?
Hi.
Hi.
It seems I'll be staying in the loop for a while.
Let's go. Looping can be quite interesting.